Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to learn about the immutable class in Java. So we are going to see what exactly the immutable class in Java means, rules to define the immutable class in Java, how to create the custom immutable class in Java, and then we are going to see the advantages and disadvantages of a immutable class in Java. So basically, what do you mean by immutable class or object in Java? So immutable object is an object whose state cannot be changed once it is initialized. So what exactly does this mean? So let's see with an example once what exactly does it mean. So here if you can see we have a person class which has the three instance variables or three fields, which is person name, person age and information. Okay, so basically if I want to make this person class as a immutable, then if I define its object here, if you see on line number 9 we have defined its object using the parameterized constructor. So once I have defined its object, here what we are printing is the size of information. Okay, so here information is nothing but the map which we have defined into the person class. So basically how it should work is, so using this put method what we are trying to do is we are trying to add another information to the existing hash map. Okay, so that is what we're trying to do. If you see here, the map is having only one value. If we add this, then overall size is going to be 2. Okay, but since we are adding it in a person class object, right, and we know that we have to make the person class as a immutable class, so that should not be allowed. So let's run this. So after running this you can see that what we are getting here is before execution the value is 1, that is the size is 1, but after execution size is coming as 2. So we can say that this person class, the class person is not a immutable class, so it is a mutable class. So we'll see later in the same video how we can convert that to the mutable class. So let's start continue with the presentation first. So here if you can see, the Java has basically 8 wrapper classes which are nothing but short, byte, integer, long, float, double, character and boolean. If you see, all these are the data types. Okay, so using those as a wrapper class will be very useful, as it provides the additional functionality to the existing data types. Okay, now coming back to next, what are the rules to define the immutable class, and we will see uh, all these using these rules we are going to make our person class as a immutable class. So what is the first rule says? First rule says this, define class as a final. So we have to define our class as a final. The reason is because it should not be extended further, because if we extend this, then there is a possibility that in child class the values are going to get changed, and once the state, that means the values are changed, it is not of a same state. Then we have to define a fields as a private, so that it can be accessed only within the class. And to prevent it from changing the values inside the class, what we are going to do is we are not going to provide the setters for any of the instant variables. Now since our fields are final and private, so those should be initialized initially using the constructor, parameterized constructor. And then what is this? We have to make all mutable fields as final so that the fields value cannot be changed. Okay, and this is what the cloning of an object should be used instead of returning the actual object. So if you see the 5 number rule, because of this our person class is not it has not become a mutable, because if you see over here the get information method, so get information is directly sending the information. Now if you see downwards, then if we scroll down, then we have the person name, and we have the person name and person age, which are also returning the same, that is nothing but a actual object. Okay, but it won't create any issue as these are immutable. So we have to take care of rule number 5 only if that instance variable is not is a mutable one. And in our case if we see the map, this one is a mutable, map is a mutable, so that's why we have to clone this, or we have to check whether we already exist have the we already have the value of information or not. Okay, so let's first convert this into the mutable, and then we will continue with the slideshow. So what exactly we are going to do here is, let's create a temporary map. So let's say string and string, and we will make this naming as a temporary information is equal to new hash map. Okay, now what exactly we have the information already provided to us. So what we have to do is we have to clone that information into another hash map, and then we have to send that newly, that is a temporary information one. So first thing is that we have to copy all the data present in this information to the temporary information. So how we can do is, let's say we have a for loop, our key is of a type string, so let's name it as a key. And from where we are going to get this, we are going to get this from this dot information dot get key set. Okay, key set. So we got the key set. Now we are going to put values from information to the temp information. Okay, so information dot get value from key, and then we are going to return temporary information. Okay, so what we are doing here is we are copying, if you see this is nothing but a copy, doing a copy of information to the temporary information based on their key value pairing. So now let's run this code and see what we are getting. So now if we see, the size before is also 1 and the size after is also 1. So now we can say that our person class is a mutable one. So let's check out with the rules that we have already defined. Okay, so our first rule was saying that define class as a final. So that is what we have done it over here. Then the second rule says that about the instant fields, so those are private and final, and here we have taken care of rule number 5. This is nothing but a rule number 1, and then using the parameterized constructor here, using the parameterized constructor we have initialized this, and if we can see here, the same type of cloning we have done it over here as well, so that when it is getting initialized, also it is sending you the temporary cloned copy. Okay, so now let's get back to the presentation. So we have used no setters we have provided in the person class as well. Okay, now moving ahead, so what are the advantages and disadvantages of a immutable class? As you have seen that it stores the value. Okay, so that means it is good for catching purpose, because we don't have to worry about the value changes, because once the value is changed, new object is created with that value, so the existing value will be there, and along with that changed value will also be there. So since these are mutable classes, so it provides you the thread safety, because if multiple threads are working on the same object, then for every thread which is going to cause the change of state, a new object will be created associated to that thread. Okay, the main disadvantages is for a memory, because every time when we change the state of an object, a new object will be created, resulting into the more memory consumption. Okay, thanks for watching my video. That's it from today's video. We'll see you soon into the next video. Thanks.